shit. Oh my god, that was so epic. I think that's it. There he is. You guys ready? Let's pull it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh. Hey! And JB's on there! 600! 600! Yes! Yay! 600 mile time. That would be just. So here we are, back with the real supercharger. Okay, we are on the test track.
They'd recommend putting your head on the headrest.
Okay.
There he's ready. Nope.
Yep. Oh. Oh, there it goes. Oh. Oh, that never gets old either. We have the post-study production cars here.
Wait, what?
Yeah, oh yeah, you watch it.
But why is he gonna throw it?
I don't know, but we're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
She just used a sledgehammer. What?
Well, maybe that was a little too hard.
I'm Eric, otherwise known as Derek, here in Shanghai at Gigafactory 3.
Ballapalooza. It's like tricks.
3, 2, 1.
Will it wipe is the big question of the day.
Will it wipe?
Generic cornflakes.
Whoa! It's raining cornflakes! Oh. This is trippy. Look, there's nothing here.
Hello once again, it is Sunday, January 2nd, 2022. Happy New Year to everyone. We are back again. Hope everyone had a good holiday season there. I'm David, this is Eric. Together we're Derek, and we are back once again to talk about all that's new in the world of Tesla.
Hi everybody. Hopefully everyone had a good holiday and New Year's time. We are here. It has been an interesting past couple days, to say the least. I don't know if you guys have seen it or anything, but Colorado had some really crazy like brush fires. Now maybe it's not a brush fire. Apparently there's some arrest warrants out for some people. But Tesla Superior Service Center and Gallery store sustained heavy damage, and about a little under 1,000 homes were lost, as well as 100 plus businesses. So,
and also currently the Superior Supercharger is out of service. It doesn't look like it was totally destroyed, but I'm sure it's going to be out of service for quite some time.
True. So it's been a busy past couple days here. Luckily, all of our friends, family that we have, they have all been okay. But yeah, not fun to say the least. Anyway, let's get right into the news. First and foremost, huge, exciting news. We have the Tesla Q4 for 2021 vehicle production and deliveries in. So Tesla just posted this earlier today. They achieved production of more than 305,000 vehicles in the quarter and deliveries of 308,000. So in total for 2021, 936,000 vehicles, which is absolutely impressive.
And amazing that like a third of those were all in the fourth quarter.
Exactly. And that's what goes to show you, like, what Tesla is capable of is pretty nuts. And this is also when all other car manufacturers are shutting down factories. They are having to stop production because they don't have parts. So somehow Tesla has been able to work through that. Now, some of their cars have been delivered without a few things, such as USB outlets in some Model 3s and Ys. In your Model S that you just took delivery of.
Like the cargo floor, and they've been doing that for the last couple of months. It seems like they've been delivering the vehicles without like the platform that goes on the back of the cargo floor.
Exactly, but the nice thing is
we'll get that delivered eventually.
Yeah, a lot of people have been saying like a month or so wait, but the fact that they're at 305,000 for the quarter is absolutely nuts. Obviously, most of those are going to be 3s and Ys. They did have almost 12,000 Model S's and a few X's sprinkled in
probably
there.
A few dozen or 100 X's.
Yeah, the interesting thing I'm seeing though is subject to operating lease, 17% S and X, only 5% 3 and Y. Very interesting data set there. But yeah, overall deliveries for 2021 are 936,000 vehicles. I'm very interested to see how the stock market reacts tomorrow morning.
Yeah, it's just amazing how much they've ramped up production because, you know, we've been really active in the Tesla world for a little over 5 years now. And when we go back and look at when, 2016 and the number of deliveries they had back, in their first years, 2012, 2013, 14, 15, it was like nothing compared to what they're able to do now just in one quarter. That's like years worth of production. So it's just amazing how much they've ramped that up and how they're starting to get up to the numbers of some of the other manufacturers, not EV, but some of the other ICE manufacturers.
Yeah, definitely. And some of the early numbers that I've seen, which we don't have the full breakdown just quite yet, was Shanghai was responsible for 70,000 plus vehicles, which is crazy. And that's like, absolutely wild.
Almost, like 20-something.
And I think that's what they delivered in China. Okay. Sorry, that's not what they totally produced. But that's what they delivered in China, which is a ton. But yeah, anyway, just wanted to cover that real quick because that's kind of like breaking news.
And I'm sure
Where's my breaking? There we go. Breaking news.
And also, but we'll be talking about that more later in January when Tesla does have their quarterly meeting to discuss those earnings.
Yes, most definitely. Next up, so as of the title of this live stream, Tesla Giga Texas, that's kind of interesting to say, is likely to begin mass production maybe as soon as like next week. So someone who, let me pull this up here. He is in Texas, but he actually posted, where was it? Oh, it was right here. A bit of news I just heard at the site today. Actual production for Giga Texas starts next week, and this was posted on December 31st. They're driving finished cars inside the factory already. Several completed cars are already at testing sites out of the state, getting crash and other testing completed. Which, if that's the case, that would be also very huge, because also Giga Berlin is very close behind as well. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But if they are this close, I'm willing to bet there are no 4680 cells in those Model Ys.
Yeah, and that's something people have been asking for and wanting to hold off on taking delivery until they got those. But we believe that they're just going to have those the same cells they've been using in the Model 3 and the Model Y, for the last few years. They're not going to be doing the 4680s just yet.
Yeah, I would be completely shocked if they were 4680s. and being how fast they were able to get everything kind of up and going, I would say it's most likely what they're currently using, which is the 2170s, correct?
Yeah.
So they already got all the kinks worked out for that, so they're able to ramp that up very quickly. So I hate to say it, but I'm not counting my 4680 chickens until they hatch. We'll say that. So either way, though, it is great to see that they're this close because, I mean, this year we're going to have 4 factories making Teslas.
Wow.
Fremont, Shanghai, Texas, and Berlin.
And maybe even the Reno area one might be doing the semi.
Yeah, true.
So they're already, working on those, we hear. So it could be 5 factories.
Yeah. So as always, spreading out your liabilities between, as it is now, 2 factories to 3 or 4 is that much better, and hopefully kind of whittle that time down, because right now, what is it? About a year out for some models.
Yeah.
So,
and also though, it should allow them to just ramp up production even more, because if they're able to produce the Model Y there in Texas, then that's, those will be able to make those faster and ship them out to Eastern Coast and Central customers in the United States, and then perhaps they can change the mix of what's being built there in Fremont and perhaps do some different production there.
Yeah, well, see, that's kind of what I'm hoping to, like, secretly, is once Texas gets up and going, maybe they can do 3 and Y there, and maybe have, because the 3 and Y lines in Fremont, like, they were kind of built as like afterwards, after everything was done up, whereas in Texas they're building them strictly for that. So all the lines are heavily optimized. So maybe Fremont will become SNX and Roadster.
I know, but even with
Maybe?
that, they're still gonna have lots of capacity.
Oh, totally.
So they still got to do some 3s or Ys, I think, out there for the time being.
Yeah, for sure. Next up, so there is now confirmed. Some people have received a Model Ys built at Fremont with the Ryzen chips inside. So for those of you that are unaware, the Refresh S and X actually run with Ryzen processors and not the Intel that previously has been done and that the older or previous gen Model 3 and Ys have had. And that Ryzen processor really allows Tesla to do a lot more. So there's some things that legacy Model S and X with their Intel won't receive right away, or at least maybe ever.
Oh, yeah.
Not sure yet. But the Ryzen chips are way better for multi-threading processing and everything like that. So, being that they're now in Model Y, can we expect to see some of those other games that were on that preview, like The Witcher?
Wow, yeah.
Are we going to see
waiting?
that?
We've been waiting almost a year for that, because when they did announce the new 2021 Plus Model S and X back in January of 2021, nearly a year ago, they were showing like The Witcher and some other games running on the hardware in that new Model S.
And they still actually show it on the Model S order page.
Yep.
You have like The Witcher here, and I think there's a couple other games that might be new in here, but yeah, we have yet to see The Witcher or anything
similar. And also, we don't even have, we'll do that in another video, I guess, but they still don't have the games working at all on that rear seat screen, and they don't have the separate audio. So there's still a lot of software updates to come, I believe, for those vehicles, just to get them to where they should have been, a year ago when they launched that car.
Definitely. Now, a lot of people have been reaching out to me, actually, asking, can they buy that, and can I help them retrofit it? Unfortunately, I don't think there's an easy way to do that. I don't know if it'll be plug and play. And being something like that, I don't think that's something somebody would want to take on besides Tesla service, because you'll have to drain the coolant lines. It's all one big computer. Speaking of...
Yeah, and it's a little different, because in the past, when the original cars came out between, 2012 and 2018, they had MCU-1, and then in 2018, about March, they came out with MCU-2, and they used MCU-2 for a few years until early 2021, when they came out with MCU-3, which is contains that Ryzen chip. So
yeah,
and also though, as we've talked about over the years, they've upgraded hardware, Autopilot hardware, many times.
So this one right here, is this a 2.5 or 3?
That's Autopilot 3. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is all the unit. So this contains the infotainment. This contains the Autopilot hardware. This is it. This is your computer. But as you can see here, there's an inlet and an outlet for cooling. And to be able to change anything on here, you'd have to disconnect those coolant lines. You'll have to flush that system, get any air out of it. I honestly think that is too big of a project for anyone really to do that.
I mean, some people could do it at home, but it's not for the faint of heart. You know, there's
Very
definitely
true.
several people we know around the country who could do that, and have done that in their own vehicles. But the average guy is not going to be doing this in their garage.
I don't think this is something I could handle.
No.
Because if you do it wrong, if you plug things in wrong, you can brick this whole thing. You can destroy it by overheating it. So, like, that would make me so nervous. I don't think I would be willing to do that.
Yeah, very few people outside of Tesla,
yeah.
I'd say, would be capable of doing that.
Yeah.
Or wanting to attempt to do that.
So, in theory, I guess it's possible, but I don't know. Maybe Tesla will offer that as an upgrade in the future. I know there was a Twitter poll going around on Twitter earlier. I think I actually saw it yesterday. And some people said that... most people said they would be willing to spend max $1,000 for an upgrade. And based on what we've seen with Tesla before, with like the Model S, I don't see it happening for under $2,500.
Yeah. And you know, Tesla did lower the price when they did the upgrade for the MCU2. It was $2,500, then they put it down to $1,500, and then back to $2,000. It keeps moving around. But yeah, I don't think they're going to be offering that anytime soon. Or if they do, it's not going to be cheap. Because, you know, for the most part, the cars are still able to do what they were designed for and what they were delivered to do.
Exactly. And I honestly think the Model S and X ended up being a little kind of all over the place with price and ended up being a little cheaper than originally thought, is because it kind of came down to the eMMC issue.
Yeah, and the original cars that had the older RAM that was, like you said, eMMC, the RAM was worn out and it had problems. And also the cars were developed back before Autopilot 3 hardware came out, and they just weren't able to really handle all the processing that was needed. So the S and X definitely deserved or needed those upgrades. It would have been nice if they would have been free, since the cars were originally sold since late 2016 with that functionality. But it is nice that Tesla did offer the upgrades for those cars. And with the 3 and the Y, those cars have always been able to be upgraded to Autopilot 3, and you know, their MCU was able to handle it. So I don't think they're going to be offering upgrades on that anytime soon.
Yeah, as I would agree. Next up, so we talked about Texas and how we're going there. So Berlin, Model Ys have been spotted on a transporter leaving the factory and presumed for crash testing and other testing purposes. So here's a shot of 6 Model Ys, all black, leaving the production lines. So that can be another super good indication that 4 factories will be online sooner than we think. We were hoping, obviously, for last year, but with all the delays and everything, I wonder if maybe they'll start ramping up here in January like Texas.
Hopefully, yeah.
Man, what a busy time for Tesla.
It should definitely be a cool quarter. I mean, with the announcement, the production numbers we've seen, I can imagine the stock price responding accordingly. And with news, you know, that these other factories might be coming on soon, this is going to be the biggest year ever for Tesla, I believe.
But the funny thing is the stock market, the way it goes, it
usually
seems like
when Tesla has good news, the stock drops.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it makes
but it'll
no
recover
sense.
eventually. But yeah, there's always some weird drop for no reason, but it'll go back up.
Yeah, it makes no sense. I guess on that note, there's been some recalls lately, but I will say that these recalls haven't been huge. They haven't been like life-threatening, really.
Well,
okay,
it depends, but basically they
The
haven't had
Frunk,
problems
maybe.
so far.
Yeah.
But basically they had a recall on the Frunk latch for the Model S, and basically the secondary, I think it was the secondary latch,
Yes.
might not always lock. And so basically they're sending out recall notices. We did get a notice, was it every Model S, or but up until like
I think it was like
2020?
up through the refresh.
So our S100D did get a recall notice on that. We're not in a rush to get it fixed, but we definitely will make an appointment for that through the service center to get that latch taken care of. Also, the Model 3 had a recall on a coax cable for the cameras. And again, it's not a serious problem, but it's something that the coax cable they used was, I think, solid core or something like that, and I think it would just have problems if it was moved too much. And so they've sent out a recall notice on those. I think they sent out to like everyone, but they said they only expect like 1% of vehicles to actually be affected by that.
Yeah.
So they're definitely playing on, cautious and notifying everybody. They'll do a check and then see if you're really affected and then take care of that. But again, not something that's going to affect your driving of that car for the most part. It's just the cameras.
Yeah, and the thing with the Model 3 is if you are using your trunk a lot, there's a higher probability of that coax cable being worn and potentially kinked and broken, in which case you would lose your rear view camera. But people have driven cars without rear view cameras for a very long time, so you can just look over your shoulder, use your mirrors a little bit until that can be fixed. Obviously, it needs to be fixed, don't get me wrong, but it's not like the end of the world kind of
You can
thing.
still drive the car. It's totally drivable.
Exactly.
You're just going to have to use your mirrors a little bit more.
Exactly. And it is Model 3s made between 2017 and 2020. So a total of 356,309 vehicles on that. For the Frunk Latch, it's a total of 119,009 vehicles. Let's see. And that is through 2021 models.
Yeah, up to before the 2021 Plus, I guess.
Yes. So if you haven't yet, you will probably be hearing from Tesla via an email, which I believe they already sent all those out.
I believe so. I think they were trying to get it in by the end of the year, and also
Yeah.
it's like kind of that week between Christmas and New Year's where not a lot of people are working, or they might not be paying attention to the news, and so it might go unnoticed by some that aren't following the news. And so yes, you'll definitely be notified of it via email or whoever the registered car owner is, because my mom got a notification for her Model 3. So they definitely send those out to the affected vehicles, but I think they're just trying to make it so that if you're not actively following Tesla, you're not going to know anything about it.
Yep, exactly. And then we've been talking about this for a while because as an owner of a 2.5 or 2.0 FSD vehicle, Autopilot 2.0 that is, we missed a lot when it came to what you would get with FSD Beta. We had the button where we could click to roll in that.
Enroll, yep.
But we never got anything. And we thought that was kind of weird. And then after a little while, it came out that we need new cameras and some other stuff. And then people that got the replacement cameras weren't getting any updates either. But that finally seems to have changed.
Yeah, it sounds like just in the past few days, Tesla sent out the release for, was it 10.8 or 10.81? Something like that.
10.8.
For full self-driving beta. So those older cars that have had the camera upgrades are now getting that release, which is what the 2021.44.25.6, I believe.
Yeah,
so
it's a doozy.
Those cars are finally getting the update. I haven't seen any footage from those cars yet, but it should be comparable to other vehicles that had like the Autopilot 2.5 and newer. And again, this is for Autopilot 2 cars that were built between October 2016 and August of 2017. We do have one of those cars, the S100D, had Autopilot 2 originally. We got it upgraded to Autopilot 3, the full self-driving computer. We did upgrade a couple of the cameras ourselves, but Tesla's going to upgrade the B-pillar cameras, the side repeater cameras, as well as the triple camera up front. They'll make some other software changes, and then once you get that new firmware update, it sounds like the full self-driving beta might finally be available. And we have not gotten the invitation yet on that. The Tesla did send out an announcement saying that don't try making an appointment to get your cameras upgraded yet. You'll be notified when your local service center is ready. We haven't gotten that yet. We're not in a hurry. We've been busy with the month of December, so we're not concerned about it yet. But maybe when we make an appointment for that Frunk Latch recall, we'll also request to have those cameras upgraded. And hopefully we'll be getting full self-driving beta on that, because we did pay for full self-driving almost 5 years ago on that vehicle.
Yeah, and all this is actually from the director of AI at Tesla. And so he tweeted about this, and then soon after that, we actually started seeing
people reporting they were getting the update. Yeah, get
it. So hopefully we can get it soon, but in the meantime, we at least have the refresh Model S's. But yeah, the 2017-100D is long overdue for that, I would say. Next up, so just a little FYI, Tesla's, especially in the Model Y refresh, we noticed this. You could actually play video games as a passenger.
Some of the games.
Some of the games, it would just like pop up like, as long as you're not the driver, you can play this, and you would just have to hit OK, yada yada, and then you could play as the passenger while the driver is driving. However, this is going to be coming to an end. I believe they already pushed out the update.
I think that it might have been with the latest release.
Yep.
Basically, the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration was saying, hey, that's not allowed. You shouldn't be doing that. That's a safety, potential safety issue. So Tesla is going to be making it so you're no longer able to do that. And at least for now, that's, of course, on the main screen, which was all the vehicles have. But hopefully that will not apply to like the new S and X that have that secondary screen in the rear rows. While no games are available there now, hopefully that won't affect that, because that would be rear seat passengers which would be able to use those. But since there's no games there at all, nothing to worry about yet. But hopefully they will eventually get those games in the second row. Yeah,
before they push those games to the second row, I really hope they can do where you can have like Bluetooth headphones or something connected.
Definitely,
because
different audio. So
as a driver, I want to be able to maybe listen to my music or something. I don't want to be hearing the game that someone's playing in the back seat. I could find that kind of
or we've noticed too with like YouTube and stuff like that.
Exactly.
If you're playing YouTube in the back, then it goes into the front as well. So definitely be nice if they could split the audio and have the secondary audio via Bluetooth or some sort of headsets.
Definitely. And then I think last but certainly not least, we have a solar update.
Yeah, basically just to round out 2021, we had another great year. We actually had close to 5,000 kilowatt hours. There's 4,904 kilowatt hours surplus for the year. We had like a surplus of solar production for like, looks like 8 out of the 12 months. So from March all the way through October, we produced more energy than we used. And the nice thing is our utility lets us roll over those surplus kilowatt hours. And so that helps us cover those months such as November, December, and now into January and February of the new year. And so that's great, that our system is still, handling all our needs and then some. And, our lifetime offset has gone down slightly because we have dipped into our reserve, our bank of kilowatt hours slightly. So we're down, we still have 101% offset since we had installed our system over 3 years ago. And so, we have just over 1,090 kilowatt hour surplus. So we've produced, the 83,299 kilowatt hours, and we've used 82,209. So it's nice, we have a good sized solar system. It handles, all of charging our 3 cars, our household, and then we're still able to send some back to the grid. Definitely happy with our solar system. Though I must say, as Eric mentioned earlier, there was some red flag warnings and stuff. So our Powerwalls have been using Stormwatch a lot lately. So they've been charged up to keep the house, ready to be powered if the power does go down. We did have several outages back on the 30th when it was really windy outside. The Powerwalls kept everything running. There were really brief outages for the most part, and definitely happy we have those. And looking forward to 2022, and hopefully we can continue with our surplus production. We do have something though with our utility, another utility issue, which we'll bringing up once we get it resolved, but we'll definitely come back to that later this year.
Issues got issues. But yeah, that's basically it for the Tesla news. If you guys have anything that you want to talk about, any news we might have missed, any questions, anything like that, we can go ahead and talk about that. Just go ahead and throw it down in the comment section below, and we will try our best to be able to hit everyone's question here. Let's see. I see a lot of people were talking about fitment and finish on vehicles.
Oh yeah, we can talk about a little bit more.
So why don't you talk about that on the new
Basically, last Monday, so it was the 27th, we took delivery of my new Model S. It is not a Plaid, just a regular. Originally, when we ordered it, was at the end of 2020 in December. So it did take nearly a year for delivery, but Tesla did offer us a vehicle back in November, but it was a 2021 VIN, and we figured if we've already waited 11 months, we don't mind waiting a couple more weeks for a 2022 VIN. There's probably really no difference in the actual vehicle, but we do have a 2022 Model S, and it's a white on white, and we really didn't have any major issues. There were a couple of things we noticed. One was just like the door seal trim on the driver's side, just a little wrinkle in it, something they can probably fix in a couple minutes. Maybe a couple adjustments for the frunk, just needs to slightly lower it, I think. It was missing, as Eric mentioned before, the trunk floor. That's something we can just pick up at the service center and install ourselves. Takes 5 seconds, and very other minor issues. There's maybe like a handprint on the outside of one of the doors, but you could just wipe it off with your hand. And one other potential issue, but very minor. So definitely a great vehicle.
Yeah, super happy with like most of the fitment and everything. But yeah, the hood sits just a little bit high. So I think
Like millimeters, it's
yeah,
very, very
so
slight
they could
difference.
probably just move the latch down just a little bit to make it just a little bit better fitting. But yeah, super happy with it overall.
And for those of you who haven't seen our video, we did a video on it last week, and we talked about the delivery. A lot of it was done via the app this time.
Yeah.
Here in Colorado, we did still need to sign a few papers. Those papers were in the vehicle, and we had to sign them and turn them back in, and very few signatures. So it took only a few minutes, and we were basically done with our appointment, our delivery appointment, before we were scheduled to be there. So definitely was a nice and smooth delivery.
Minus the $54,000 mistake.
Except for that, yeah. And so again, for those, but again, that happened before the actual appointment there. But we did find that it seems that there's a bug with the Tesla app where if you go to pay and you back out of that, it goes ahead and processes the payment anyways. And that was an interesting little issue. And we found out after posting that video, several other people have reported that they had the exact same problem. So definitely it wasn't us. And I'm kind of glad to hear other people have the problem just because I didn't do something wrong. There's something wrong with that payment process. That Tesla, hopefully you're listening, reach out if you have any questions, but there are problems with it. It's submitting the payment when even people are trying to cancel or back out of there.
Yeah, definitely not ideal. Amy, thank you for the $2. Not required, but I really do appreciate it. Said, I'm just here for the pup cam.
There they are.
Puppies. Amy says hi.
Yeah, they had a fun day because we had a lot of snow there the last couple of days, and they like running around and going crazy whenever there's snow outside. And then they had company, their Aunt Molly or somebody.
Yeah.
Aunt Maggie, sorry.
Aunt Maggie.
Yeah, Maggie came over. He's like, what? Where is she?
She's like, where?
She came over to play today in the snow. So they definitely are worn out today.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Oh, Jim said Elon's done selling. So yeah, that's another big piece of news.
With the stock, that should help the
finished
stock
selling his stock.
kind of stabilize and go back up.
Which it's funny though, he was exercising different options he had, and after all is said and done, and he sold all that, he still has almost 7 million more shares than when he started selling.
Yeah.
So
and that's a lot
it's
of
funny
people
how
that
that
don't
works
think
out.
realize that he was selling a bunch of stock, but he ended up with more stock than he started out with. So he's not selling out. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. It was funny. A lot of people were losing their mind. Let's see. Chris said, I'm wondering if Tesla will release bird's eye view in the future. I thought they said V11 would have it. It's still an awesome update, however. I still don't know how they're going to fully do the bird's eye view.
Because just because of the placement of the cameras, they could do one. I've seen it on some other cars in the past.
It would just have some like blocks.
Yeah, but also with the way the car moves, they could. I've seen some cars have kind of like they take video of that, and so while you don't have a camera down low, they can fill in what they have. And I've seen other manufacturers do that, and you can rotate it around, and they could leave it blank in places where they don't have direct cameras, like down in the very front of the bumper. But it would be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, I would be worried a little bit if they just take footage that it already had captured.
I mean,
because what if like a dog or something or a child is now in that area?
I don't think you're using it for driving around. I think it's
no, yeah, but like backing up or something, I could see like people.
Well, the backup, fortunately, there is a camera back there.
Somebody's going to hit somebody
up in the very front of the camera. But there you do have the ultrasonic sensor, so there could be a combination of the ultrasonic sensors and the cameras.
True. Alan said, any idea when CCS 1 adapter is coming out for North America? Was hoping to have it by now for a 3,000-mile road trip in a couple weeks.
Yeah, we're still eagerly awaiting that
waiting for ours as well.
And we've noticed that a lot of people have been talking online about the cars because it seems like Tesla started shipping cars that supported CCS Adapter back in like 2020, but then later on they stopped that for a few months. So it seems like there might have been either a parts shortage or something, or maybe those cars, maybe just different software update might be needed. But those cars are reporting... Basically, some cars are reporting they have the CCS adapter support enabled. Other ones say it's not installed. So it'd be interesting to see how Tesla's going to handle those. But we do know that for like the older S and X, that were around for years before the 3 and the Y came out, they're going to be needing adapter capabilities as well. And as we've seen in Europe, they're going to offer, I'm sure, some sort of upgrade package for that will include upgrading your, the hardware for the charge port as well as the adapter. But yeah, no word on when that will be out in the U.S. But hopefully things, since they're done with hopefully the fourth quarter rush, maybe that's something we'll see this quarter, especially because it's already out in other places like South Korea. So really they can use the same adapter here because it's the same CCS one.
Yeah.
And people have successfully used that adapter. They've had it shipped over and used it here. So definitely looking forward to having that released officially in the United States.
Yeah, it will definitely be nice. It's just another alternative. Chris is here in chat, said hello and congrats on your long range S, David.
Yeah, thanks again. It was a nice to take delivery again.
It was almost a Christmas present.
Yeah, missed
it was
by
a few
couple
days after.
Yeah, but it was nice. Again, we've waited long enough. I wasn't in any rush to get it, but it was fun. I actually haven't driven it that much though. Eric's been driving it for mostly, but we'll talk about that here later this month. But definitely, I've already made some upgrades and more upgrades to come.
Yep. Jay said, I have 34 panels, 3 Powerwalls. Hasn't produced since install in November. Powerwalls are 0 as well. Awaiting Tesla to fix, but it's been a month. Not happy.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah,
good.
that's not great either.
I know that when we first got our first system installed back in, what was it, 2017? No, 3 years, 2017, I think. I don't know. It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, we'll be 27. No,
2018?
2018. It was summer 2018. It took a long time before our utility allowed us to turn it on. We tested it out. Ours actually worked. So it's interesting here. Yours hasn't done anything. So I don't know. Is it totally turned off, or when Tesla installers left, did they turn it off, or did you try turning it on? Do you know how to turn it on? Because our system was actually fully functional. We just were technically not allowed to export back to the grid. But since we weren't, the way our utility company did it, they had actually removed our meter, so there was no way for them to tell whether we were sending back to the grid or not. And yes, they do have authority to operate because you're not supposed to be sending it back until they approve it. But you should be able to. Your system should be functional if you've paid for it and they've installed it and they've left. Your system should work. And we used our system testing purposes only, of course, during that time when we were waiting for permission to operate, and it worked perfectly. So definitely, I would contact and see why they're not, why it doesn't work, because it should be fully functional.
Yeah, that's definitely weird on that. Chris, message me later this evening, and I'll see what mud flaps you were trying out. Visionaire said, any data on Tesla Model 2? Unfortunately, no. I don't think we're really going to hear much on that until
And it's been 11 months or 12 months almost since we last heard about it. Elon,
I would say
they said
realistically not till later this year at the earliest.
They said, though, I think back in January that we'd hear it by the end of 2021. But yeah, that came and went. So,
I mean, everything's kind of been delayed.
Definitely. And again, as Elon points out, it's not going to be called the Model 2, but we know what you're talking about.
What could they call it?
I don't know. I mean, another letter. I mean, there's a lot of letters out there.
There are a lot of letters.
The Model C for compact or something like that. Who knows?
Okay.
Or somebody's tried spelling all kinds of other things.
Yeah, I was trying to think in my head what could letters, we spell.
But,
Yeah. Let's see. Chris said, do you guys have any information on updated taillights for the Model S? So, from what I can gather, the refresh Fs we saw with the new taillights, honestly, I'm thinking it's a very early stage design. And I don't think we're going to see that for quite a while. I'm giving it at least 6 months.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it sooner than that, but
yeah.
But we've only seen the one mule, I think, that had that. So
exactly.
It's not widespread yet. Or maybe there might have been an X that had it as well, but
I don't think we've seen X's with it.
Yeah, but we don't have it obviously on my early 2022 model, but who knows? Sometime in 22 it'll probably be showing up.
Yep. Let's see. Amy said, can't wait to see David's first yoke drive. It's a good one. ETA. So that video is actually going to be pushed back to Wednesday. Because Monday we have a special product announcement video. So our channel sponsor, Abstract Ocean, give me a minute. Ta-da, right here. The final design of the Model S and X refresh screen protectors are in. The clear version is available to order right now, actually, if you go to their website. But the matte version will hopefully arrive in the next couple days. And so we will be probably doing that video tomorrow for Monday, given that they arrive.
And that's a great product to finally have out, because I know a lot of people have been waiting for the S, and now now there have been a few Model X deliveries. They're interested and eager to get that as well. And definitely, we've always put that for years. We've put those matte screen protectors on, or even the non-matte one.
The clear.
Yeah, back in the day, and so we definitely appreciate that, just because it keeps the screen easier to see.
Definitely, and especially like
yeah.
the rear screen. I can see some people maybe accidentally hitting that with their shoes, so that's something I definitely want to keep protected.
Well, that's something I don't know if you mentioned, but yeah, that you can get one for the rear screen as well.
Yeah, so the clear is available now, and matte should hopefully be available in the next couple days. But yeah, David's first yoke drive video will be this week. I'm excited to show you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't terribly exciting. It was.
I
fun.
thought it was.
I thought it would. I had
was.
no problem. So basically, picked up the car, I drove it home, and but Eric we'll post it here later this week. But I thought it was great. I
thought it was interesting to see your interaction with it, because
there were a couple things that I wasn't expecting, but overall we made it home. No issue.
Yep. Let's see. Simpleton said, looking to buy $100,000 in Tesla stock. Should I wait until the predicted recession by Elon? I mean, he can't predict that, so.
But he can cause stock drops.
He can cause it.
We've seen that happen a few times.
I'm not worried about it. I mean, I held on to all my Tesla stock when everything crashed. The whole market crashed because when COVID started, and it shot right back up. So I'm not too worried about it. Let's see. Somebody said, what do y'all do for work, or do y'all just do YouTube videos full time? Love your vids. So we actually both have full-time jobs, and I have a couple businesses. I work in biotech full time, and then I have 2 other side businesses.
And I'm a software developer for a telecommunications company currently.
So, yeah, each have, sorry, something's beeping out there. Each have other jobs, but YouTube is just kind of fun. We have fun with YouTube. Let's see. And I'm all about having multiple revenue streams. That helps a lot too. Let's see. Chris said Tesla just needs to have a no curbing mode, like the lane keep mode, that will just correct your steering if you're getting too close to a curb. Your Uber turbines. Sounds like you're speaking from experience.
And it's not just the Uber turbines. It seems like almost every rim is very easily curbed. You can't get close to those curbs.
Yeah. I always park as far away from curbs as possible. NA said, can you please chime in on the Matrix headlight possibility for the Refresh SRX, since you may be able to take the headlight apart and look at the connector? I suppose we could try to look at the headlights.
The new one, but I think they're talking about the Matrix. Well, do we have the Matrix one?
I don't know. That's the whole thing. Nobody's fully sure.
We should also just compare mine to yours, which is you've got a Plaid from like August 2021. August, and mine's a 2022, which was built in December, and we can look and see if there's any difference between those. But it was cool because I did see with like the holiday light or the holiday light display, that came out in that release, it was actually showing that the lights were projecting Teslas, just like we saw at the Gigafactory in Berlin when they did their demo there, that they do have those lights in there. So it'd be interesting if the X and S have those already, or if that's something that might be coming later with the rear lights as well.
Oh, true. Yeah. I'll see if there's an easy way for me to try to figure that out without like completely tearing everything apart. Ryan said my October build Wise says not installed for CCS.
Yeah, so it's interesting.
They added it, removed
several
it,
months period there, kind of towards the summer or early fall, where it doesn't seem to have that. So I don't know if they had a chip shortage on that, and so they just left it out. But I'm sure you'll be able to get to it, and who knows if they'll make you pay for that upgrade, or if they'll just cover it because other cars before and after that haven't.
Yeah. Chris said, is there any driving difference between the Model S Plaid and long range other than acceleration? Absolutely zero.
Yeah.
I've been driving long range a little bit to kind of like break it in and check it out and see how it compares to the Plaid. And I will say in Ludicrous mode, That thing is plenty fast.
Yeah, it's definitely more than the S100D was, more powerful.
Oh, yeah.
It's still not the Plaid. It's only dual motor, right? Instead of tri-motor.
Yep.
But it's a really good car considering how much cheaper it was compared to the Plaid.
Oh, definitely. And
compared to what we paid for the S100D, it was like 40,000 less. For that vehicle, and it's
which is wild.
Longer range. It's got like 80 something miles more of range, and the 2 screens and the heat pump and all. It's so much better car, and it cost us 40,000 less.
Yeah.
So you know what we did? I think part of that was the Autopilot, though. So 30,000 less on hardware, but if we were
still crazy,
it's amazing car. Yeah, it's still not cheap, but it's amazing how much more car we got for that $85,000 or whatever.
Yeah, you get way more for the money. Frank said, any physical differences in the body of the Model S Plaid and the regular refresh Model S, as one has 3 motors and the other still has 2? Nothing you can really tell. The body exterior is the same, interior is the same. Yes, you have an extra motor in Plaid, but there's no way to know that from looking at the exterior or interior. You'd actually have to take stuff apart to see that.
I think, the vast majority of people won't be able to tell you the difference. And we'll probably do a comparison video between the Plaid, the non-Plaid, and maybe even throw the S100D in there as well to see the differences. But really, the cars that we have, they look almost identical. And if you've removed already the Plaid badge from your Plaid, nobody can really tell the difference.
Yeah, there's no longer the red brake calipers. The Plaid does have the spoiler, but you can do an aftermarket spoiler.
So the spoiler, I guess, might be the tip off, but again, you can add a spoiler or you can remove it, so it's still not a guarantee.
Really, the only way to notice is to go into the screen and put it in Plaid mode or accelerate and be in Plaid. But to be honest, most people would probably think Ludicrous is still exactly what it says, Ludicrous. It's like 3 seconds, 0 to 60. So that's more than most people really need.
Yeah, it's still pretty incredible.
Yep. Let's see. Will Derek be releasing their own light show? LOL. From what I see, it takes a lot of time to make. Maybe the live stream intro music. LOL. So light show work. Yes, eventually.
Fool around with it, yeah.
As far as new intro, yes. I was actually working on a new intro earlier. Still gonna take some time though, but yeah, new intro is coming too.
But for those of you who've seen the Holiday Light update, there's a site called, I think it's TeslaLight.show, and that's like a repository where a lot of people are sharing their custom, light shows that they've done and just throwing them together, and it's neat to check out and see. A lot of them have like preview videos, so you can see it in action before you try to download it and install it yourself. But it's nice to see this public site out there where you can test it out yourself.
Yeah, so that's this right here. It's the Tesla Light Show repository. They have a lot that people have already made. You got the baby shark.
All different things. Yeah, going back. I've seen stuff from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 2000. It's all different sorts of music.
You have Happy Birthday. You have Game of Thrones in here.
I'll have to check that one.
You have ABBA.
And if you click on it, you can see maybe.
Can you do it?
There's a preview though. Some of them have previews
it's unavailable because Game of Thrones copyright.
Yes. So if you do, some of them you have to click to watch it on YouTube. You can't necessarily watch it on the. But yeah, we won't be previewing any here. But it's cool. But it's a nice little party trick, I guess. It's not something that I would probably do it once and be like, oh, that was fun. But I'm not gonna make a career out of it, I guess.
No. But definitely stuff like that we'll be doing on our TikTok once we start really kind of pumping those out. Because TikTok, I can post copyrighted music and not have to live in fear of getting everything taken away. So yeah, those will be on TikTok. Let's see. Have we ever driven in a VW ID4? No.
Not yet. No, I haven't seen any of the VW EVs.
Nope. Let's see. Bill said, any more info on a single stack transition for FSD? Have you heard anything about that? I remember they were talking about transitioning that, but I don't think they have.
Yeah, I haven't heard any new updates on that, but I know they were talking. Yeah, they haven't combined everything, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything in months.
Yeah. Jonathan said, shopping around for a used Model S, how do you know if it has FSD? It's not clear cut as the Model 3 and why? Some say highway, autopilot safety features, autopilot, or FSD computer. It should still be when you click on more details, or no, on your main screen when you click, what is
Like
the
the
bottom?
software or-
Yeah, the software tab or whatever
Yeah.
that is, and it'll tell you what version of autopilot it has. But if it comes from a dealership, isn't there potential that could be removed if it was an auction car?
Yeah, if it was from a dealership or through Tesla, they can remove it and then try to resell it with that. So definitely, if you're buying from a dealership, I would make sure you get that, in the contract in writing that it will include that. So if Tesla takes it away, that you can go back to the dealership and then say, hey, I need a refund, or I need you guys to put FSD on it because that's what I bought.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to, because if you buy private party, they don't remove anything. They can't. So maybe look at like private party used S's. That might be the easiest route.
Yeah, and we should go check on our, the S100D and see what it says there. But it is definitely confusing because they keep changing the name to, like you say, with, autopilot with convenience and this and that.
Enhanced.
They've changed it so many times. It can be confusing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I guess one of the settings is if you just, we should research that some more and put together some like little guide, because you might still see the autopilot setting, but you're not going to necessarily have all of the features available, because since they've been offering the basic autopilot, you're still going to see that, but you won't have like navigate on autopilot and those other settings. So it does make it difficult to figure out what it has.
Yeah. Let's see. Robert said he has a July 2021 Model 3 Performance CCS not installed.
Yeah, it seems like we said the summer to the fall that they left it out, but I've heard newer ones do have it, so it's interesting. And there's a spreadsheet somewhere online where people are kind of trying to keep track of that to see what's missing. It's not really going to do much good, but at least kind of let you see where you are at and when they stopped it and when they started back up. But it looks like I think all the new like S and X have it that have been created in the past, since June of last year.
Yeah. Otis, yes, we do have a CCS adapter on order. Haven't quite received it yet, but hopefully soon.
You should ask about that, because it's
I'll send them an email when we're done, because we should. Let's see. Chris said, what do you guys think of the Tesla adding the Toybox and nav map to the rear display in the Model S and X? I definitely think Toybox needs to go there. The navigation map is actually not a bad idea
I think
either.
that would be cool too, because I always, when I was a kid, I always liked like paper maps. So I think it'd be cool, and that would just help kids learn. And, how things work and where, directions and stuff like that. Because I have to admit that I didn't know until I think I was in high school, like why houses were numbered where they were, at least in the United States, where, they start maybe a downtown street and north and south, east and west, and the numbers get bigger. I didn't know that because I never drove anywhere by myself. I would just, my parents drove me everywhere, so I didn't need to know anything about maps. And then once I learned that, I just always loved maps. So I think if they could put navigation in the back, for the kids, not necessarily let them choose navigation, but let them see it, I think that could be a learning experience.
Yeah.
But there's all kinds of stuff they need to add to that rear screen, as we were talking about earlier. They need the games. They need to have some like separate audio source back there. It's missing a lot. You really can't do that much back there.
Yeah. Unordinary Man said, hello, gents. Any additional color options coming? I hope so. They really need to do something.
We've seen like
to freshen it up
in China and the Gigafactory in Berlin that they're definitely having new colors. So we're hoping they would have those new colors here in the United States as well.
Yes. They need to liven it up a bit, I think.
Yeah, because they used to have more colors, but wow, it has been like almost 5 years that they reduced the number of colors. I mean, and the colors they got rid of were another white and another black.
Yeah,
and
well, I mean, long ago Model S had like the green.
All kinds of, the brown.
The champagne color.
Yeah, brown. Yeah, that was titanium.
What was titanium metallic?
Yeah. But I mean, they had brown, they had a green, they had different colors, blue, different colors of gray. And so, it'd be nice if they brought those back. But they had 2 different whites, they had 2 different blacks. And so it'd be nice if they add a little bit more variety, or do something like what they're doing in China. They have actually, you can get the car wrapped by Tesla before you get it delivered.
Have they officially started rolling that out yet?
Yeah, they've had that for a while.
Okay.
If you look at the delivery lots in China, you can see all these like light, like robin's egg
like
blue.
Tiffany blues.
Yeah, and all different colors there in China. So it's
Wow.
it's just a wrap, not a paint color. But it'd be nice if, I know that there's a lot more aftermarket, maybe wrap shops here in the United States, but it would be good if they had more choices available. And we talked about it a couple weeks back. Elon did, people were tweeting how the white color is now everywhere because so many people are doing that. We've always liked white since, back in the day when you had to pay $1,500 or whatever for it. Then they made it the standard color, but a lot of people are complaining everybody has white. And so Elon did say that they're going to make it so I think that the Midnight Silver Metallic will be a standard color choice.
I think that's only on 3 and Y.
No cost option on the 3 and Y, yeah.
Yeah, so if you want a Model S or X, it's still $1,500.
Yeah.
But, yeah, kind of weird. Keith said, how does Model S drive in Colorado snow? Great. Haven't had any issues, actually. I've driven Model 3, S, Y... I don't think I drove the X in the snow.
Well, yeah, 'cause we had it in the winter, but I don't remember if we did have it in snow. I don't think we did much. Yeah.
But everything is driven great in the snow. The only thing is it seems Model 3 tends to turn into a bit of a snow plow in heavier snow because it is lower.
A lot lower, yeah.
But it still had no issue.
Yeah, and the only thing is
great.
You got to make sure not to be driving on performance tires.
True.
In the snow and ice, because we did that as test, and we took the Model 3 out on a frozen lake and drove it around, and it didn't do so great driving on ice.
It was kind of funny though.
But those tires were summer tires. It's totally not meant to be driving on ice. If you have all season tires, better. Or if you get true winter snow tires, even better.
Yeah. Let's see. Visioner said, when will 4680 battery start mass production?
No, we've been waiting a while on that because since Battery Day, we've been expecting something, and we thought originally, maybe the refreshed S would have it, and it didn't. Well, again, the Plaid was supposed to have that.
The Plaid Plus.
Well, it was originally called the Plaid, then it got changed to Plaid Plus, then they canceled it, and then they changed it into Plaid. So it would be nice. We thought the Plaid Plus would have it. It didn't. And so now, are they going to have it? Are they saving them for the Semi? Are they going to put them in the Roadster? We don't know.
I'm almost thinking the first place we're really going to see them is Semi.
Or Cybertruck is another option.
And then the next place we'll probably see them is the Roadster, and then maybe Cybertruck, or do we think
we
Cybertruck?
could see the Cybertruck maybe before the Roadster, because we haven't heard really anything new about the Roadster in ages.
So do you think there's a chance they will make any Cybertrucks with 2170s, or will they all be 4680s?
It's possible, just because if they're going to be having to get that over 500-mile range, I think you're going to need the 4680 cells. But for cheaper vehicles, maybe they would use some of the the 2170 cells. And we've seen, like with other manufacturers like Rivian, they're kind of...
Oh, let's give an update on that. Do you want to update them?
So we have a pending order, I guess, in for Rivian. But Rivian's last week, I think, sent out announcements saying they were going to give you a better timeline as to when you could expect delivery. And for some reason, they decided to, do it a little bit differently than Tesla. And instead of going with the most expensive vehicles, they're doing ones, I think, that have smaller battery capacities just because they can make more vehicles that have smaller capacities instead of doing the ones that have the larger batteries that, they could make half as many vehicles. So basically, we were informed ours is still like almost 2 years out, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be a while. So unfortunately.
Yeah.
For our Rivian. But so with Cybertruck, maybe they could do that differently. And if they're going to bring out like the dual motor, maybe it would have 2170s. Maybe the 4680s would be in the more expensive ones. But we don't know yet. It'll be interesting to see.
Yep. Duncan Alex, thank you so much. Came in with the $50 super chat. David's making it rain over there. Thank you so much, Duncan.
Duncan's making it rain.
Oh, Duncan's making it rain. David's helping. Thank you so much, Duncan. Really do appreciate the super chat. Oh, I forgot the confetti. Really appreciate it.
Happy New Year.
I don't see a message. If you meant to type a message. Oh, I see you just sent an email now. Thanks for all and everything. Cool. I will check that email as soon as we are done with the live stream and shoot you a message back. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. That is wild. $50 is a lot of money. Thank you very much. Again, donations not necessary. Appreciated, but don't feel like you guys have to donate or anything. Amy said, "Oh, I'm kind of partial to your current intro. Not sure how I feel about the new intro. I think the new one will be good though.
Yeah. It's just going to evolve from what we
consider it a refresh.
Yeah, it's not like a brand new.
Consider it a refresh. Yeah. Let's see. Otis said Tesla's going to be replacing a lot of window motors soon. Yeah, because the new light show you can do windows and mirrors and everything. Yeah, that's. I mean, I imagine they had to have thought about that before they went and did that, right?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, they've got to
Hopefully.
be like, I don't know if it's hundreds of thousands or millions worth of, rolling up and down. So
Yeah.
hopefully a few times a light show, hopefully it'll wear out your excitement and it won't actually, your excitement will wear out before the motors, hopefully.
Hopefully. Javier said, was the Fremont factory down for retooling? So actually over Christmas, early December,
We
there were
thought-
some news articles
Yeah.
saying they were going to be down.
And we went back, that's something we forgot
Yeah.
to mention, I guess, earlier, but we went back and looked at those articles, and while we had like Google set, only show us stuff from December, the articles we looked at were actually citing
Previous
last
years.
year's shutdown. So it doesn't look like they had a big shutdown again this year. So that's something, we should have mentioned, I guess. But basically,
It doesn't look like it.
nothing huge planned compared to last year when we knew they were shutting down for the Model S refresh. And that was kind of a hint, and that's why we put in our orders for the S and X back then. But yeah, doesn't look, I'm sure people got a few days off, but it wasn't like weeks and weeks like last year.
Yeah. Diego has a great point here. Have you guys seen crazy prices Ford dealerships are putting on the new
Yes.
Lightning?
We were gonna-
Mercedes even
yeah.
more. So
Yeah.
glad Tesla's direct pricing. This is another reason why I absolutely hate the dealer model. Is in a time like now where like supply is not catching up with demand at all.
It's like price gouging.
Exactly,
These
that's what it
these
feels like.
dealerships are gouging prices. They're raising the price
Yeah.
by like 50%.
Yeah, so
And-
there's actually a Mercedes-Benz that I saw. I think did I show it to you?
Yes, yeah.
And it retailed for $183,000, which, mind you, that's a ton of money. But it had a $140,000 markup
Yeah.
on a $183,000 car. And from what I've seen, is some people
It's the same car.
Yeah,
It's just a
exactly.
markup because
It's a markup because
the
they
dealer
can.
can.
Yeah. But from what I've seen is some people have actually asked the dealer, like, hey, like, what's up with this markup? It makes no sense. And the dealer's coming back saying, oh, well, the markup will add to the residual value when you resell the vehicle.
No.
If you resell the vehicle when markups aren't being added, then
No.
yeah, that's 50 or 100 or even almost 150 grand you are just throwing away.
Yeah, I saw another one because it was like a 100,000 vehicle and they added 50,000 just so it was like 150.
Jesus.
And it makes no sense. And the dealerships are all trying to say Tesla's model of selling vehicles directly to the consumer is bad, but then you see
Yeah, I know.
dealers totally gouging on the price. With Tesla, everybody can pretty much, if you buy it on that day, everybody would pay the same price. Yes, Tesla does raise prices, but those prices are available to everyone. No haggling. You just go on the website and you can click, buy. There's no surprise $50,000 markup or $20,000 markup. So yeah, the dealers aren't protecting them. They're just trying to gouge as much money out of the buyer as possible.
Yeah, and on that note, we do have a Ford Lightning
F-150,
reserved.
yep.
We have a Kia EV6 reserved. Is there any others?
The Rivian.
Well, the Rivian, and then okay, yeah. So I think that's it. But if when it time comes for the Ford or even the Kia, if they try to mark it up anything above MSRP, I'm gonna just cancel.
Oh yeah, we'll do a video on that. You'll be sure to hear it, and Ford will
you
hear
bet.
it too. Because yeah,
I will
that's
make
just
sure
crazy.
Ford feels that.
And I think Ford has actually told people,
Yeah.
don't go to those dealerships that try to mark up prices. And it's just like, well, you're told we have to buy through dealerships because you won't sell it to us directly. And so it's just like it doesn't. They're talking out of opposite sides of the mouth or whatever the saying is.
Yeah,
But
well-
they're saying one thing and then telling you not to use a
Yeah.
dealer. But that's the only way you can buy a car.
Exactly. And so Mike Levine, he's the director of North America product at Ford, has been all over Twitter, and he's been like really kind of going after some Tesla people. And now all of a sudden he's saying, oh, if your Ford dealer won't sell you the vehicle at MSRP, find another dealer. Easier said than done,
Yeah.
because
Plus-
they're all selling for over MSRP.
They're going to all just raise their price. Because
Yeah.
while we were assigned to a certain dealer right after you place the F-150 Lightning order, if you try to get it changed, I'm sure the other way is going to be like, oh no, we're going to mark it up 20, 30,000. So it's like, we'll see. We haven't gotten the official email that some people did for Ford, but we haven't gotten that invite yet to order. So it'll be interesting to see. But it's definitely not good. And the dealership model is not protecting the consumer in this case.
What, 5 years it'll be gone? Do you think
I don't
5 years?
Elon predicted like 10 or something like that. But it's just like we have seen some other auto manufacturers are trying to start selling directly, trying to follow the Tesla model, but they're running into the same rules that Tesla did, and it's not as easy as you would think.
No, it's stupid. All those.
But it's sad that you can
idiotic
buy
rules.
almost anything online except for, a car, and in some states.
Yeah, completely. Warren, thank you for the $5 super chat. Really appreciate that. Said Model 3 fall of 2018. My battery capacity is down to 285. Do you have any tips to reset the capacity or correct it? So I believe if it's still what I was told long ago, is you like drain it as low to 0 as possible, then fully charge it, drain it, and then go to like 90. Isn't that what they once said to do?
That's what in the past, and we've done that in the past, and sometimes the capacity does really decrease, but also it will go down slightly in the winter and colder months and stuff. So you might not ever be able, you're never going to be able to get it back to what it was new, over 3 years ago. But that's
a good way to help reset it a bit.
I think. And also you can use apps like Scan My Tesla and stuff like that, and you'll need a little like OGB2 reader, and if you go to like Scan My Tesla, they can give you all the links on what you need, but then you can plug that into your car. Oh, actually, they don't have the OGB2, but there's still an adapter you can use for a 3 or a Y to plug it in and read those settings of your battery directly on like your Android or Apple phone and give it a better idea of what the capacity really is still.
Definitely. And then there's Pierre with the $5 super chat. Said,
hello, Pierre.
Purchase a carbon fiber yoke. Is it the T Sportline one? Because I believe, there's the one that we were talking about. Also, any news on carbon fiber trim or backside of seats for Model S? Also, still waiting on video of Model S dash teardown. Yeah, so I need to do that video too. In terms of carbon fiber trim or backside seats for Model S,
so unfortunately, they're different.
the trim, I haven't heard anything about. The backside of the Model S, the seats, maybe.
Yeah, because I noticed that
Maybe
today,
coming soon.
I noticed today they're different. Because
Yes,
on like
they
the older
are.
ones, the back and the carbon fiber on the ones we have, it comes up onto the headrest.
Yeah.
Whereas now that the back kind of like stops below the headrest, so you would
Just like the Model 3 and the Y.
yeah.
Yep.
I
But
never
yeah,
noticed that before today though.
yeah. Thanks though for the super chat. Really appreciate it. But yeah, hopefully the seat backs come soon. The trim, I don't know. The trim's gonna be really tricky, as much as I hate to say it, because of all the pieces with the center console and everything. It's not just like one piece. It's a lot, and tooling is very expensive. To be honest, if you want carbon fiber trim, your best bet is probably to buy the parts from Tesla, which is probably going to take about a year at this point. But that's probably your best bet, to be honest. Okay, let's see where I was, because there was a lot of talk about price gouging dealerships, which we know is a huge thing. Let's see.
Yeah, and some people like Luke mentioned that these automotive dealer associates and stuff, they do a lot of lobbying, and
a ton.
They pay all this money to local politicians and stuff like that, and get all these laws enacted to protect the dealerships. And Tesla doesn't play that game. They don't want to try to bribe the officials like that. So that's why.
I mean, Tesla doesn't even have a PR
yeah.
section anymore.
But they do have. Do they still have their website they set up? Last year where they have it so you can get involved and trying to. It was.
They
kind
do
of like,
have that, but I don't think it's much like it.
I haven't heard much about it. You hear it every
Yeah.
once in a while, but they have had some like events or where they try to get local owners and stuff to go to the local government and speak out and try to request changes. But I haven't heard much about it recently.
I'm not even seeing it on here anymore. I don't remember what the web address was.
We'll have to look that up. But yeah, it's kind of faded away.
It kind of has, actually. I totally forgot about it until you just brought it up again. So that's kind of... Oh, there's forums.
No, the forum. I thought the forum went away.
Maybe that redirects.
The forum went away whenever they came out with the other. Yeah.
Yeah, they're now read-only. Visit engage.tesla.com.
Engage, that's what it is, yeah.
Let's see if
But I mean, I haven't heard anything about that. It's like every once in a while you hear it like in some state where they're getting ready to act a law or change the laws but yeah, I haven't heard much on that recently.
Yeah, they still have it here where like EV battery collection recycling to contact your ministries. Wisconsin, support direct sales, contact your reps. So, I mean, there's still a few things here, but it doesn't seem to be taking off as much as I would have thought. But yeah. Let's see. Frank said, do you think they would cancel the new Roadster? I definitely don't think they're going to cancel that. It's still on their website. The only thing, though...
And they have to have a Halo car. I mean, the Model S Plaid is pretty nice, but they have to have something, even better than that.
So the Roadster is... Oh, sorry. The Roadster is still here. However, if you go in to reserve it, the Founders are now all gone. So they only
that would be a sign that maybe they're going to come out with the Founders ones eventually. Soon.
So the Founders ones, they only limited that to 1,000. Those are all gone, but you still can reserve a standard Roadster. But it is a $5,000 initial, and then $45,000 wire required within 10 days. So it's like $50,000 down. So that's a lot of money.
And I don't see a lot of people still reserving those if there's no information, because it's been like over 4 years, right?
Yeah.
We haven't really had much new information, so hopefully we'll get something on that this year.
Yep. Fingers
Definitely
crossed.
looking forward to the Roadster and taking delivery of that.
It's gonna be my baby. Okay, let's see. Chris said he saw a Rivian in the wild here in Mesa, Arizona. It was easy to spot with those headlights. Yeah.
Yeah, I still have not seen one in real life yet.
Oh yeah, you didn't make it to that event.
No, I haven't, and I know that I've seen some TikToks and stuff where people in Colorado and they had like a bunch of them, kind of like I think that was
we weren't invited.
Events. Yeah, that was one of the Rivian events.
Thanks, Rivian.
Yeah, but I have not seen one yet in person. So.
Yeah. Let's see. Dan Abe said the range of Rivian is already low enough. Can't imagine a lower range version. Yeah. So that's why for our Rivian I put in for the Max Pack, which says 400 plus miles, not EPA rated yet, but it was 400 plus miles. But that right now, I think my delivery says like early 2023.
I thought it was second half of 2023.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, second half.
Let me look it up.
Because it was like almost 2 years. You sent it to me a week ago.
God, that's ridiculous.
I heard some people are getting like, early 20. I think ours was like late 2023.
Oh yeah, I just pulled it up. Okay, timeout. Yeah. Second half of 2023.
Yeah, that's like 2 years.
Ugh, I'm not waiting that long. They did say if I want it in 2022, I could drop it to the large pack, which is 300 miles, but 300 miles just like doesn't sound that appeasing anymore.
Yeah, it's okay, I guess.
It's not terrible.
It would be okay for around town and stuff like that, or road trips that are close by, but I don't,
without a supercharger network and everything, I don't...
Yeah, or having to rely on Electrify America, and they don't have their Rivian's network. They're supposed to be having their own network and put some charging stations in interesting locations, but if you're going to be towing trailers and stuff like that, that 300-mile range is going to be, 150 or less. So definitely I wouldn't rely on that.
Yeah.
But who knows, if they come back to us and offer us one with a 300-mile pack, later this year, maybe we take it, but I don't think we would.
Depends how late and where Cybertruck's
I don't think, yeah, exactly. We're not planning on canceling our Cybertrucks or anything. If anything, we'd take it and put it on Turo or something like that, do some videos and something like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Or we could take it and we could mark the price up $50,000.
Sold to the highest bidder in the room. Oh my God, that would be really funny. Kevin, thanks for hanging out. Colorado_MY said, used car prices are so inflated right now too because of it. Glad I'm not looking to buy a car at the moment. Yeah, I mean, really the only cars that I would consider right now are Tesla because they're not overinflated really. I mean, Tesla's increased their price a few times.
Have gone up, yeah, and even used Teslas have gone up.
They have, but for the general, like if you're buying a new Tesla, it's not like you have to fight with a dealer of how much the markup is going to be.
Yeah.
It's generally a pretty standard price, but yeah, buying any car right now, especially at like, oh my God, can you imagine like going into Ford looking at cars right now? Everything probably has. We should actually stop by a dealership and see how much of a markup is on each car.
Yeah, maybe
that would actually be
next Sunday we can go by.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, absolutely nuts. Luke said, but Ford is not allowed to do anything about it by law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the deal.
Ford can't tell the dealers how much and what they can and can't charge. It's very stupid. I don't like it. We forgot the podium.
Oh
could've
yeah,
gotten behind a
one of
podium.
these days. Yeah.
We'll get it one of these days. We've been really busy, so I totally forgot about it. Let's see. Where was I? Richard said leave for balancing your battery pack. Said leave it for 5 to 6 hours at a low-ish state of charge, and then repeat at many different state of charge levels. Interesting. I should reach out to Tesla and see what they officially recommend now, because
it's
might have
changed
changed
over the years. Yeah, and
Yep.
especially too, there's different batteries now too.
Yeah.
So it's totally different for other batteries that you can charge up to 100%. Some of them, you're only supposed to stay below 90 unless it's a road trip. So definitely different, depends on the chemistry of the battery.
Yep. Let's see. Money Mike said, "Hey guys, how's it going? What's your thoughts about the Build Back Better bill passing in the next few months?" 1, Build Back Better bill. Say that 10 times.
Yeah.
2, we need to see it reintroduced, because last I heard it was totally killed.
I don't know. It keeps going back, and I mean, I was a lot more optimistic about it 8 months ago, but I didn't think here we would be 8 months later still talking about it. And
True.
it's just like and we, definitely think that there's some things in it that need to change, and we've seen that some of the politicians agree with that too. And one of those was that union clause, because it seems custom written for like Ford and GM.
Very much
not
so.
even GM, but like Ford and some of the others that we have all union plants, and so we should get extra money. And it's like, and still you don't hear, at any of these EV events and stuff that the government has, they're not inviting Tesla. So it seems really biased against Tesla.
Yeah.
So it would be nice if it was more level playing field.
Definitely. Real quick, dog cam, because they're being adorable. And Kit's gonna clean Layden's ears while she sleeps.
Yeah.
This is our dogs in a nutshell. They hunt lions, I swear they do.
Yeah. And rabbits and bunnies
rabbits.
and squirrels.
Yep, it's ear cleaning time. Lol. Okay, I thought that was just kind of cute. Let's see. So yes, Pierre is doing the T-Sport line one. Nice. I will be doing a review on the 360 T-Sport line wheel. It is a yoke replacement.
Oh yeah.
That turns it into a not circle wheel, but it is a 360 wheel. Review on that will be coming soon. It should be out to me very soon. Noel's
lots of T-Sport line surprises, I think, coming. Well, maybe they're not surprises anymore. I don't know.
Well, I mean, they're not surprised anymore. No, just kidding. Yeah, there'll be some fun stuff coming up. Noel said, "Any news on your Model X?" Mine says February.
It's just Noel.
Noel?
Yeah.
That's my bad. Sorry about that. Noel said, "Any news on Model X?" Mine says February, but I purchased mine 4 months ago, so I don't think February is accurate. Originally, I had January. So, yeah, ours still says February.
I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure it still says February.
We're checking it live here, folks.
Got to scroll through all the cars just to say.
What did you...
It's February.
It is February. Okay.
Yeah.
What did you purchase? Is it a long range or a Plaid?
But they
'Cause I
changed the
think
name.
if you got... Oh, sorry. If is it a Model X or is it a Plaid Model X?
Yeah, because they got rid of the long range. Though that's weird.
The car says long
our
range.
car still says long range in the app and in the car, but they got rid of it on the website. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so like the website, even Model S, same thing. It just says Model S or Model S Plaid, so it's Model X or Model X Plaid. But here, Model S is July 2022 or 2 to 6 weeks for a Plaid, whereas Model X is January of 2023, or for Plaid, October of 2022.
Wow, even a Plaid, yeah.
Yeah, it's...
But see, and that's
crazy.
something. So we're just about a year since we placed the order for our X, right?
Yeah.
Because and I don't remember the exact date, but it was like right around the end of December of 2020.
Yo.
And then once they announced at the end of January 2021, they said, okay, yeah, the refresh is coming and the price has gone up. Then they gave us like a couple weeks to accept the new prices. And they did give us like, what is it, $2,000 discount off of there was like a $10,000 price increase. But since we had placed the order for both the S and the X before that, we got like a $2,000 discount. And that's something we did get on the S. And so we will be watching for that on the X. But yeah, it's been about a year on that. So.
Yeah, I will say the one thing we do have to change with our Model X order is we're going to remove FSD from that. We've spent a ton of money on full self-driving over the years, and I'm at a point where I kind of like the subscription deal a little bit better. That
Yeah.
way I don't have to shell that money out. And it, one, keeps any kind of loan smaller. It reduces the registration costs. And then I can just subscribe whenever I want. Or even if I subscribe every month, I can make my money work for me rather than give it all up at once.
And that's
And
another
we
thing-
don't keep the cars
Exactly, I was
necessarily
gonna say.
terribly long.
If you were going to keep the car for 4, 5 years, or 20 years, whatever,
So maybe the Cybertruck will get it on.
then it would make more sense. But with our Teslas, we don't keep them typically that long. We do have the S100D, which we've had almost 5 years now, but we paid for full self-driving on that almost 5 years ago. So going forward, the subscription option wasn't available back then. If it had been, we could have saved like
A ton of money.
$50,000, $60,000.
Yeah, a lot. So that is the one thing we will be removing from it. May said passed the Rivian at night. The rear light bar gave it away immediately. Ooh, I didn't know they had a rear light bar.
Yeah, I think it kind of goes like.
Is it Cybertruck-esque?
I think, yeah, similar idea.
Let me look this up real quick. I didn't know it had a rear light bar, or am I
Definitely, and the headlights are definitely very unique as well.
the headlights for sure.
Headlights are like the one thing I don't like about it, but I'm trying to.
They kind of remind me of what are those characters?
Some robot from
No, the minions.
Minion.
They kind of remind me of minions. If they
Okay.
were yellow, very
Oh,
minion.
yeah.
Oh, it does. Okay, that
Yeah.
is the light bar. Got it. Yeah, that looks really cool. Kind of very Cybertrucky. Love it. I am very excited for Rivian. Don't get me wrong. I'm very disappointed with the wait time because I don't want to wait 2 years. I don't want to do it. Same. Let's see. Where are we? I am like.
Yeah, Nima is talking
Yeah,
about
right there.
that V11 on Portrait Model S feels terrible. I saw it for the first time today because I was in the S100D, and yeah, it's like some stuff is better, but a lot of stuff seemed to be worse just for no reason. Like the seat heater options are gone. You can only put a couple little icons down there for like your favorite apps and stuff like that. I didn't try what he was talking about, or Nemo was talking about with the media player and browser, so I didn't experience that yet. But yeah, a lot of people are not happy with the changes there.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll see some compromise, or Tesla will kind of take some feedback and come back with some of those changes. But yeah, it seems like they definitely made it so it's more like the refreshed S and X, and now the 3 and Y. It's weird because I'm seeing a lot of 3 and Y people complaining about this because they've had the same interface for the last 3 years, and this is the biggest change they've had. And yeah, and we were talking about this privately, last week, like with the new preview for like the left and right turn, and how that's not available on some cars, it is on others, but it seems to be in the wrong place. And we thought that should be up on the instrument cluster, like on an S and X, and it's shown on the bottom of the center screen. And of course, the 3 and Y only have the one screen, so that's where they put it. But it doesn't seem like the best option.
Yeah, for sure. I hope they add some usability features to that.
And actually test it. And
Yeah,
I just wish
yeah.
too that they had some more contrast, because when we first installed the update on my car, I have the .2 update, not the .6, because I don't have the full self-driving subscription on that car yet. But I could not even see buttons and stuff because I don't know what screen we were on, but it was like dark gray text on black, and I could not even see that there was a button to click, like OK or something. And Eric's like, here, it's right here, and it's really bad when the contrast is so poor that you can't see buttons that you're supposed to tap.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you said, well, put it in daylight, and it's like, well, then it's like blaring in my face. So
Then
like,
it's too bright,
That's not
yeah.
the solution. They need to have like higher contrast options
Yeah.
and still have a dark mode.
I mean, a lot of computers and everything have it where you can change the contrast. So it
Yep.
seems like they could just make some settings, right?
Yeah, it'd be nice if it was user configurable, because it'd be, just like any web browser or anything, you can choose high contrast mode and this and that.
Yep.
It's, usability.
Yeah. Let's see. Someone said at a Ford dealership a month ago, Bronco's a 40K markup. Mach-E is 15K. Ford F-150, 10K. Jeez. Markups galore. Someone said they have a Lightning at Chapel Hills Ford. They said no market adjustments. Guess we'll see.
That'd be nice.
That would be nice.
I know too, back in the day, many years ago, you used to have to like haggle for prices
I
and
hated
stuff
that.
at most dealerships. But then a couple car dealerships started having their no haggle pricing, and in some ways that was okay because it made it so that pretty much everybody going to that dealership got the same price. But it wasn't necessarily the best price. But at least you didn't have to haggle. And so I guess it's nice to see that some of these places aren't doing these markups.
Yeah. Let's see. Chris said, I was at a VW dealer to test drive the ID4. They only had 4 total cars for sale on the lot. My experience was horrible. They couldn't find the key for 15 minutes. They have 4 cars to deal with, and they can't find the key for 15 minutes.
It's amazing, though, because we've been around some of the neighborhoods that we drive around, and there's some where the whole street is like car dealerships, and there's like nothing.
It's all barren.
Or like one of them has just like work trucks and vans and stuff like that, but there's no like cars. That's weird, though, because in other parts of town, their lots are full. So I don't know what the difference is between one dealership to the next, but some of them are like almost empty.
Yeah. It's nuts, like how like deserted some look like now. Dan's in chat. Welcome, Dan. Hopefully everything is going well in Chile.
Oh, yes.
He said 2 weeks in Chile and I have not seen a single Tesla. This is the first country I've been to that I haven't seen one. I can't say I've seen any EVs here. Wow, that's kind of sad. Although I do have I have a friend in, I know it's not Chile, but I have a friend in Brazil, and he has quite a few Teslas. I think he has like 5 or 6. But yeah, I don't know anyone in Chile with Teslas. Hopefully you can at least see one, because that would be kind of fun.
And Dan, I don't know, I haven't been to Chile yet, but is the roads, is it driving really crazy there? Because when I was in Ecuador a couple years ago, it was just crazy. It was just like, there's no way, I don't think, that full self-driving will ever be enabled in some countries just because of the way the roads are, and people would just, it's kind of like one lane, and you just pull over when another car comes, and it was not fun riding around in there. So I don't know if it's the same in Chile, but let us know.
Yeah. Let's see. Motor Nation 257 says, question, what was the cost of the Tesla solar panels? Do you want to break that down?
For ours?
Yeah.
That we got, well, that was again
the
back,
first set.
The first set, that was back in like July of 2018. Back then it was like 50-something thousand, I think, right?
I was thinking 47,
but then we
remember.
had tax credits that brought it down and everything. So basically, I don't know, we'd have to go back and look. That was 3 years ago. I know that when we added another 4 kilowatt system a year later.
10.5.
It was what?
10.5.
Yeah. And so, but we'd have to go back and look and see. But we are doing quite well, like I said, powering, generating all of our electricity that we're expecting to break even within the next couple of years on those initial panels. When we added other panels to the rear, they're not optimally placed. It's basically where we had left to put panels on the roof. So those will take a little bit longer before those actually pay for themselves. But the other ones, I think within probably another 3 or 4 years, our system will have paid for itself, and then everything for the next 20-something years after that is like just free electricity.
And
we're not paying for gas.
Yeah, exactly.
Cars,
we're not paying
like
for gasoline, so it's hard to factor that fully in.
So that really helps the payoff value is just because we're saving hundreds of dollars a month on electricity and on gasoline, and that just makes. I was going through the app earlier, and it doesn't have the correct it doesn't have our utility in there, but in the newer version of the app, it shows like your dollar value or something. And it's I don't know what we should change it to our utility. Well, they don't have it, so they're still adding them. But it says something like the electricity we generated would have been worth like close to $10,000 last year.
Oh wow!
Again, I think that's using a California utility where the prices are a little more, or a lot more. Sorry, but
Sorry,
basically,
California.
we're still saving thousands of dollars a year on electricity and gasoline.
Yeah. So the big kicker for us is, since we are an all EV household, we don't have that gasoline cost that most people do, and since we're charging at home 99% of the time, it's like free electricity for the house and free for the cars. So
and also,
we're able to really pay off our system a lot faster.
And also back in 2018, I think the federal tax credit was like 30%, and it was either 28 or 26% when we got that second system. So, I mean, that definitely helped bring the price down. But since then, Tesla's dropped the price another like 30-something%. So to get the same size systems, what we paid, it's almost half the price of what we paid when you include the Tesla's price decreases as well as the tax credit. It's become a lot more affordable. It's still not cheap, but if you look at that as an investment that's going to last you for a lifetime, it's definitely worth it.
And they do have the like you can get like the loans on it.
Yeah, yeah.
And that and most of the time, I would say like 90% of the time, should be cheaper
So if
than
you
your
don't have,
electricity.
if you don't have cash and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and there's so definitely, and we're gonna do a video here later this year too. There's other options too, like solar, like community to solar stuff like that, where you can get solar, but you don't get it installed in your house. But basically, you are going through another company, and they're putting in the solar. It's not going to be at your house. It might be a solar farm, something like that. But it still helps to make it the whole grid greener.
Yep. It's a good way for maybe renters to offset,
Yep.
or if you don't want to put anything on your roof, there's options.
Yep.
Noel said I pronounced it right.
Oh, you did
the
get it
first
right?
time.
I thought it needed the
like
little,
the first Noel.
well, I thought it needed the dots on it to be pronounced well, but maybe they just, I don't know.
I don't know. Said I purchased the long range anyway. Enjoy watching y'all's videos. Awesome, thanks. Really appreciate your support.
Congratulations.
Congrats on the long range. Let's see. Aaron said, "Do you think Tesla's estimated delivery date is accurate? Have an S with delivery date of July. Was wondering how accurate that date is. I would say it's decently accurate. The only thing though, is I have heard of people, especially like kind of end of quarter in December, some people were called and said, hey, somebody couldn't take delivery of this Model S or X or 3 or Y for X reason. Maybe they couldn't get the financing. Maybe they weren't ready. Maybe they had a life change or something. And so those cars were available for immediate delivery. So sometimes you can kind of sneak in if you can kind of time it right and just get lucky and have them call you if a car opens up that is your configuration.
Or sometimes if you tell them that you're not that picky on configuration, they might be able to call you sooner. Like if you're not that picky about color and stuff like that, you might be able to get sooner.
Yeah, definitely. So there's some ways you could maybe get it a little earlier, but in terms of their delivery dates, July is probably accurate, I would say, for S. I think for X, a lot of people are going to be pushed back again. Hopefully it's not us as well, but I guess we'll see. It seems a lot of people have February, and I don't think they're able to ramp up that quick.
Yeah.
Speaking of, though, Chris did say, I think the Model X deliveries will pick back up.
Yeah.
Now that the year is done and Gigafactory is soon to make Model Y. I really hope Model X picks up because the delay right now is kind of crazy. We're going on a year since we ordered.
And Chris later mentioned the Rivian reminds of the Big Hero 6. I think that's the character I was talking about, the headlights.
Big Hero 6?
Yeah.
Let me look that up real quick.
Isn't that like a robot or...
Big Hero. Is it just the
6,
number 6 or spelled out? Okay. Oh, okay. I see that.
Is that the one? I can't see.
This guy.
Oh no, that's not the one I was thinking of.
Oh,
but you know what?
I turned the lights off.
That's not the robot I was thinking of. But there's some robot and something. But you know what? I just saw. Remember you sent me a link the other day.
That's Big Hero 6, by the way.
Yeah, but you remember you sent me a link for like some stickers or something to put on your
seats.
Your seats. That's what it was right there.
Yeah.
Big Hero 6.
So if you look at the front of the Rivian, see how it's like the two circles kind of with the line between it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then here, I can kind of see it.
Yep.
Totally. I actually haven't seen that movie though, so my bad. Let's see. Model 3 dude said my brother got his Model X December 27th. Not the color he wanted inside, but very nice EV. Is it a refresh? Because if so, I'm super jealous.
Yeah. So we
Super
could say
jealous.
something. You could say it's not the EV he wanted. It's the EV he needed.
Oh wow.
Or something. No, there's something. Isn't that from Spider-Man or something?
Oh, I don't know.
He's not the hero I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's not the hero we wanted. It's the hero we needed.
Yeah.
Or
So
something.
so he got the Model X.
Yeah.
It's not the one he wanted. It's the one he needed.
There you go. Let's see. Where are we at? Mike Money said, I think I'm going to wait until March to see if the bill passes. If not, I will just buy a Tesla. The Tesla I have on order.
And I know a lot of people did try to delay it for January, thinking that it would definitely be passed by then, but somehow it still didn't get passed. And it's possible that when it does get signed, it might be retroactive back to beginning of January, but there's no guarantee. So if you are relying on any sort of tax credit, then you should wait until it has been signed into law, because there's no guarantees.
Yeah. Mike did follow up with any news on Model 3 4680 battery cells anytime soon. No, unfortunately not. No news really on any 4680s lately. So no idea what we'll see them in first. I would say either a Y or a Cybertruck. I'm thinking Cybertruck, to be honest. I'm being a little conservative there. Let's see. Chris said, I don't know anyone or why anyone would pay that markup on a Mach-E. You can get them with less than a couple thousand miles on Carvana. Yeah. True. Coach DA said dealer markup on high demand, low supply cars is very common. The new Toyota Supra, for example, when they first came out. So, yeah, but like a Ford F-150, the only reason a lot of those are low supply right now is because of the pandemic. So it's like there's really no hype behind them. It's just low supply.
But, and we also know that dealers have always done price. They always hike prices.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
That's what they
Or
do.
they try to sell you like extended service and all that, because that's where they make their money.
Yeah, and they try to sell you the car on the lot, not the one you want to order.
Yep.
And so, yeah, it's just...
Yeah. Ugh, annoying. Let's see. Falcon Diego said, are you guys going to get more plastic balls for a Cybertruck giveaway? Going to need a lot more boxes. Oh God, I hope not.
I think we have enough balls already.
I hope so.
We got
a lot of balls.
I sent some merch. We've got the balls.
Oh my God.
But yeah,
Copyright it quick.
I think we've got enough because we've never even come close to using all that we have.
We got a lot of balls.
Yeah, we've got the balls. That's got to be a slogan. We got to get a shirt made.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna start selling merch that says we got the balls. But anyway, we do plan on doing a ball pit video in the Cybertruck, 100%. We've done it in Model 3, S, X,
and the
Y.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting on the Roadster, the Cybertruck, the semi-truck, making that into a ball pit ball.
That would be more difficult because I mean, it depends on the size of your trailer. Then we would definitely need more balls. Oh, but we did the Cybertruck cabin itself.
Yeah, no, I was gonna do the cabin.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we got this.
That may be more difficult though because that's not gonna fit in our garage. But we could probably find a garage somewhere.
We'll find it. We'll make it work. But yeah, it'll be fun. Diego also said, I'm from Argentina, horrible roads. Tesla wouldn't last a month there, especially after getting stolen after the third day. Yikes. Let's see. Christopher said, hi there. Ordered Model Y in November and originally had estimated delivery date in June. Now says March or April. You think there's a good chance it'll come sooner than later now that Giga Texas is opening soon? Maybe that's what Tesla is kind of banking on. Maybe because I have seen some Model Y reservation holders say their delivery dates were pushed up a month or two. It's all starting to come together.
Oh yeah,
I didn't put it together before.
Expecting more production, yeah.
Yeah, which obviously when it starts rolling and ramping up vehicles, it's gonna be very low initially.
Yeah. But
Tesla is pretty good at ramping quickly, so I would give it a couple months before they start really pumping them out. Dan said, I agree, Diego, the roads are not Tesla friendly. Model 3 dude said, hey guys, did David trade in his Model S for the new car? If so, I'm going to my bunker because the world's coming to an end. No.
Yeah, we still have it. It's actually still in the family. It's still in the garage. So we
did some car swapping.
So you might remember Scott had his S75D and that was still a great car, but he does a lot more driving for work now and he needed a little bit more range. So he decided to just basically, he is now the driver, the main driver of the S100D. So it is still in the household, still in the garage, and it's still driving. Well, that's our long-term Tesla. We've had it. It'll be coming up on 5 years here in the next 2 months, and it's still doing great. Still has a 325-mile range or something like that on a full charge. And we are, like we mentioned, looking forward to getting the camera upgrade, so we'll be able to do the full self-driving beta on that because we purchased full self-driving on the, well, at the time it was enhanced Autopilot and full self-driving. It was an add-on package, and we did that back in March of 2017, right?
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to having that, and then be able to compare that to like the newer S from 2022. So it'll be 5 years of difference almost on those cars.
Oof. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
So we still have it, but yes, it's no longer my daily driver. I don't really drive that much daily anymore. So it's moved to another driver in the household.
That was actually my second Tesla.
Yep.
I should reach out to the guy who bought my first one. See if he still has it.
And for those of you who
But yeah.
haven't seen the video yet, this was number 14 of the Teslas we've purchased since.
But we only have 3 still.
Only three right now. But
And
yeah.
I guess your mom has one.
Yeah, it's a few miles away, and then we're getting another one, so we will have another one here hopefully in February. We'll see.
The weird thing though is we have 3 Model S's in the garage.
And
right
yeah,
now.
this is a weird
We were there once before.
Yeah, back from like December 2017 until like sometime in was it late 2018?
Yeah.
We had 3 S's in the garage, and now somehow we have 3 S's in the garage again. But you know what? I've told you for years the S is still my favorite. So guess what? We've got 3 S's in the garage. So
I'm not gonna lie, the garage looks good right now, but I think we need an X bad.
yeah, it'll be nice to have the variety again, because I did like it when we had the Y and stuff like that. So it'll be good to have the X again. Just we'll have more room and more options for the dogs and stuff like that. So.
More options for things happening later this year.
Yay.
Yeah. Let's see.
And then we were talking about electricity and how our Mr. Member DSN is asking how we heat our home. We actually have hot water heat, so it does still have natural gas. We should get a quote on that, on getting like a hybrid boiler or whatever they're called to see. But we do use natural gas still to heat the house, but it's hot water heat, so it's very, very efficient.
Yes.
And it's nice too because we have multiple zones, so we can heat just the zone that we're in. So typically, like during the day, we might only be heating one zone instead of all 3.
Yep. It is far more efficient than like forced air or anything
Yeah.
like that. Let's see. It doesn't like dry out the air as much either. It's Colorado. It's dry anyway.
And
but
it's quiet. So that's one thing I hated when at my last house when I had forced air, we put in a new furnace, and that sounded like a freight train was coming through whenever it came on. And it's just like you had to turn up the volume of the TV, and then it would turn back off, and it was constantly adjusting the volume. So it's nice. Hot water heat, totally fine.
And they tend to be less to maintenance, stuff like that. It's great. It doesn't really dry out the air. It's silent. It works very, very well.
Yeah, and we did put in a little bit of electrical heat when we remodeled one of the bathrooms last year, so we do appreciate that as well, because under a tile floor, and we put in a Ditra heat system.
Oh, the heated floor, love that.
Very
thing.
nice.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. If you are redoing a bathroom, do yourself a favor, put in a heated floor. It's worth the money.
And we were able to do it ourselves. It wasn't hard at all.
Yeah. Let's see. May said the app has our utility listed, but it lists the sell rate the same as the buy rate. Sell rate is like 3 to 4 cents versus buy rate of 19 to 45 cents. He said you can edit it manually.
Yeah,
though.
it says ours does it listed, and it says I need to go in there and edit the buy and sell rates. I just haven't done that because I still prefer to use the old app just because of the graphs and stuff for solar and get that. But I should probably try that and see how it compares. But it was interesting when I was in the new app earlier today, and like I said, it said we got some $9,000 worth of electricity. But again, that's at California rate, so probably wasn't quite that good in Colorado.
Yeah. Let's see. Fernando asking about his estimated delivery date. Unfortunately, I don't know. I would probably say June is probably pretty accurate, though, for a Model Y ordered in October. Mine Tesla said, currently have a long-range Y, selling it to get a performance. Any news on rear acoustic glass, new processors, Giga Texas build, faster, more range, anything? Not really. I'm thinking that Texas is going to start probably building maybe higher priced variants like the Performance, but I still think it's too soon for 4680 cells. I really do. In terms of the processor, there have been reports that people are taking delivery of Model Ys with the new Ryzen. So have a good likelihood of getting that. But unfortunately not much at the moment. Hopefully we hear something by the end of the month, I would say, if they're really going to start pushing those out. Let's see. Don said, I started the process to purchase a 9.6 kilowatt solar panel system with 2 Powerwalls in downtown Denver.
I think we might know Don. I think that you might.
Do we know you, Don?
I think you might
Is
have.
this the Don I know?
Did you sell us some wheels or tires a couple of years ago? I don't know. I know that you went downtown. I found him.
I did.
And
By DU?
I don't know. Well, he said downtown Denver, so maybe that's not him.
DU
But I thought it was Don. But I could be wrong. We've bought and sold a lot of wheels and other Tesla parts over the years, but we might know Don. But congratulations on your solar. I'm sure you'll like it. We definitely appreciate ours. It was nice with all that wind that we had. Last Thursday, I had no worries that we were going to lose power. The Powerwalls kicked in a couple times, but we had 100% on. And then sometimes though, I still will turn off Storm Watch temporarily during peak periods, just because if the wind dies down a little bit. I know that, okay, the power's not going to go out now. I don't want to be paying peak rates to charge them up. So I'll turn it off, but I set an alarm and I'll turn it back on so that overnight, if the wind picks back up, it can go up and top of those Powerwalls again. So I definitely think you'll appreciate having those Powerwalls, especially when you get those red flag warning and high wind days.
Yep. Let's see. Patel said, what about delivery date for Model Y of January? Delivery was supposed to be in December. That probably would hold true. Probably just missed getting on a truck, to be honest. And
yeah, there's a lot. I heard a lot
back.
of people, especially up in like the Pacific Northwest and stuff like that. I know that a lot of people that were supposed to take delivery, but there was some snow. So they couldn't send trucks up there.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, they just delivered those in California instead. So I know a lot of people missed out on their December deliveries, unfortunately. But if you missed it from December, I'm sure you'll be getting it sometime in January.
Yeah. John said, does Colorado have any VPP virtual power plant options for solar or battery?
Yeah, I don't think so. That's something like we've seen in like Vermont and California and some other states where you can do that. But our utility, I haven't heard anything about that. So we don't. Oh, must be time for
dinner.
foods.
It's dinner time for the
So
doggies.
unfortunately, we don't have anything like that. Our utility here seems to be missing a lot of things. Like even Excel is what we have here, but even other parts of the country, Excel has like special EV rates and stuff, but they don't offer here. So it's just kind of weird that they don't have that yet. One nice thing that Excel does have is we take advantage of wind source, which is basically for any electricity we do take from the grid that if we don't cover it through our own usage, that we can pay a little bit extra, and that supports wind energy. But they also have plans where they work with community solar, so you can either buy, I know in the past that you could buy panels and community solar farms, but now they've changed it. My mom has just signed up for a plan where you can get solar, but you don't have to buy anything, and they actually pay you. Basically, though, it's just like a company goes to Excel, says, we're going to have this many customers, and so we're going to put in a plant, and this solar farm is going to be like 50 miles away, whereas in the past it had to be located within your same county. So they are doing some things here in Colorado, but and they're always trying to increase the amount of renewable energy they're using, but we're still missing out on some of these things like virtual power plants.
Yeah. Let's see. Patel asked, Model Y delivery is estimated between January 5th to February 2nd. When should I apply for a Tesla loan? I would probably wait until you get a VIN.
Yeah, because it doesn't take very long at all. I mean, it's usually we got
it within a couple hours. If you do it early enough in the day,
it shouldn't be a problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't remember, but I think we originally applied a year ago, but then I think they did have to finally run the numbers again. Back in November.
Yeah.
But even though we waited over a month, it was still good. We didn't have to reapply then. But I would, once you get a VIN, it shouldn't be a problem because they should be able to handle it really quickly.
Yep. Steven said, are you aware of any Model S or X prior to the current refresh that have FSD Beta? They do not have a cabin camera. Yeah, so they just finally started rolling that out to some cars that got exterior cameras replaced.
But also, there's other cars like Ravens that have been out. They've had full self-driving betas since however many months ago when they started releasing to everybody. So yes, there are S and X's out there like 2018, 2019s that have had it for months, but now they're just more recently adding those 2017 and 2016 ones that have had the camera upgrades.
Yep. I see some people asking about Giga Berlin news. Basically, a couple trailers of cars, Model Ys, we're seeing leaving the factory, and those are proposed to be test crash vehicles and to go through more regulatory bodies. So as of right now, no, but hopefully we hear some great news about them starting to ramp up very soon. Diego said, I'll ask for Amy, what's for dinner?
I think we're having leftovers.
Oh, it's leftover night.
Yeah.
It's scrounge night.
Yeah, Scott didn't. Yeah, so.
Oh, but we had Pedro's special yesterday, so that's delicious.
Yeah, it was okay.
love
It
Pedro's
could
special,
be. It could have been better, but we had to like.
Oh, we were out of turkey.
We had to scrounge to get different ingredients, but we're having leftovers. And for those who don't know, it's kind of like Frito pie.
Frito pie.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty
Very
good.
nutritious and delicious. Yes.
Let's see.
A family favorite.
It is okay.
I saw something though. Oh, so somebody I saw was talking about dash cam on honk. Possibly needs some tweak as it starts saving right away on honk. What if a driver is trying to honk and get other driver attention, but crash happens a second or two later? Yeah, so it's I could see it maybe should extend past the honk and not just before. And one thing we forgot to mention, which is not huge news, but it seems like those of you who have the new S and X. The honking no longer works by covering the buttons. We don't know if this is an intentional change or not, but in the past, you know, there's a horn button on the yoke, and you could use that to honk, or you could just cover all the buttons on the right side of the yoke, and that would honk. That functionality seems to have disappeared, because we tried it in my car on like Tuesday or Wednesday, and then I was like, maybe I'm doing something wrong, so I tried it in the Plaid. It doesn't work anymore. We went and checked the owner's manual, and the owner's manual that we checked no longer mentions that. So it seems like it's intentional if they've taken it out of the manual, but it seems odd because...
Yeah, my guess is too many people were maybe resting their hand there and honking all the time.
But it seems like there could be an option to toggle it on and off.
Yeah, I agree.
Like with honking and saving the dash cam clip, they could have like honk if you do this.
Yeah.
And I think when people are complaining that you can't honk by pushing the center like airbag anymore, I think the reason why, I could just be wrong, but since it's a yoke, they have to have a totally different airbag anymore, because typically, when you have a round steering wheel and you have the airbag, it's going to behave differently in an accident. The steering wheel is part of it absorbs part of that energy when you would be propelled forward. And now that the yoke doesn't have it anymore, I think they have to have a bigger or different airbag in there. So maybe there wasn't room for that horn, and that's why it's not in there anymore.
Yeah. I'll be taking mine off soon, so maybe we'll peek around in there. Let's see. Roger said, do you have a hot water storage tank for the heater?
Yeah, so basically we don't have a hot water tank. We have a boiler, and then we have a tank. I don't know if it's 60 gallons or 80 gallons, but we have a large, I
think it's 80.
Yeah, it's
big.
It's pretty big, but it doesn't have any burnt elements or anything there. Everything's done in the boiler and then goes over to that hot water storage tank, and so that provides hot water for all the house as well as for showers and washer, dryer, all that. Or washer, sorry. Well, dryer actually, we have a steam dryer, so it goes through the dryer as well.
Yep. Let's see. Chris said, I don't understand all the hate on V11. I love auto heated seats. They work great. I've actually been using that as well. And I agree, it works very well.
I haven't tried it yet, so I don't have an opinion one way or the other.
I initially was very skeptical, but it is doing a very good job. I will say that. I haven't, normally I'll just put it on 3 bacons, or level 3. I call them bacons because it kind of looks like bacon. And I'll eventually have to just turn it off. But lately, since it's been an auto, I haven't had to change it or do anything. So I've been really happy with it. Let's see, Jim said, just took delivery of my Model Y Performance on the 24th and had to take my mother-in-law for a ride. First comment is it runs good but needs a grab handle in place to rest your right hand without triggering the window.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because as soon as you rest it there, your thumb just...
If you don't...
Or your hand
pay
here
attention.
goes... Yeah.
Yep.
So either way, I agree.
That's something people have been asking for years.
9
years, and it still doesn't exist.
Yep. I wonder why Tesla doesn't do that. You think it would be fairly easy to incorporate, right?
I guess they must have some reasoning.
Yeah. Maybe it's their design language.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yep. Don has not met us yet.
Okay, sorry, Don. But good to know. Maybe one of these days.
Yep. He did say, have you enrolled in the Battery Connect program with Excel? I don't know what that is.
I don't think so. I haven't heard of that.
I don't know what the Battery Connect is.
I'll have to look that up. So, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out. And Jim said, have you been able to use the noise canceling on the new Model S? Yes, briefly, and notice zero change.
Well, that was the very first drive.
True.
Who
Maybe
knows?
it needed some
I didn't see it say
calibration.
calibrating, but when we first picked up the car, it had the 44.6 version on it, and I went and checked, and it had active road noise reduction there enabled. I didn't see it say calibrating or anything like that, but I heard absolutely zero change. We turned it on, turned it off, turned it on. nothing. But we need to do some more tests on that because other people was like, oh no, it works fine and you don't need to be listening to music. It'll get rid of the road noise. We heard nothing. So again, brand new first drive. I haven't tested it since then, so it's something to try out again. We've only had the car less than a week now, so I think it just got 100 miles today. So
yeah. Let's see. Where do we think the first cars from Giga Texas will ship? From Jonathan. It's a great question. Probably somewhere in Texas. That's probably where they'll be delivered to. Keep it local for a little while. Let's see. Thank you, Anders, for clicking the like button. I really appreciate that.
So wait,
helps out the channel.
I'm looking up this thing. So Battery Connect, thanks Don for bringing. I have not heard about this at all, but it says you can receive. Oh, well, wait a second. I mean, go back because it might not be offered in this. Okay, there. Receive $1,250 for enrolling your residential battery storage in our pilot program. Battery Connect will test how home batteries can integrate with the energy grid and leverage alternative energy sources. Wow, thanks Don for bringing that up because I wouldn't mind getting $1,250. So we'll have to look and see because it says eligibility.
For each one?
It's a pilot program is open in Colorado. Participants must own or lease a Powerwall 2 or a solar edge inverter. Okay, wait a minute. So we'll have to check and see.
Yeah, we'll do some research and get back to you next
But thanks for bringing that up because I had not heard about that yet. And normally, we get all the emails. I get so many emails from Excel. I can't believe that we don't know about this one yet. So I will research that.
Yep. Roger said, a lot of people add a dump load to their solar power system that puts their excess power into their water tank via electric heat. I think it's fairly simple to do with a controller and CT clamps.
I've heard about that. My uncle actually asked about that when he heard
Sounds
about
above
our solar years ago. But basically, is a way you could like when we had when the wind was going last week and the batteries were at 100%, our solar would shut off because there was no place to send that energy. If we would have had something where we could have dumped it into the water heater, we could have heated the house that day via our solar by doing that. So it'd be something to look into if we do decide to upgrade the boiler or something.
Yeah, maybe I should call around and get someone out here.
Yeah, the thing is with the way stuff is, it's not going to be cheap because everything right now is a really long wait and really expensive. So it's definitely something we should research, maybe get some quotes on. But that would be a good way because totally we could have totally used all that solar instead of just shutting the panels off temporarily.
Yeah.
Here's one thing again. Back to that battery thing. It says you have to have a solar edge inverter with a supported. It might be. I wonder if you have to have power. We'll research.
Yeah, there needs a lot of research.
I'm excited about it because it's $1,250.
Well, I don't want them to be able to take our power to zero.
It doesn't. Yeah, that's what we need to see.
I want to know specifics because $1,200 is good, but I don't want them controlling my stuff.
So it does say that up to 100 events a year, blah blah blah. So this is what we've seen in some other places where if they take your battery when you're needing it, then
exactly. Then we're SOL.
Yeah, so we'll have to check and see on that. But again, it might depend on what inverters you have. It does mention Powerwall 2, and it says or a solar edge inverter with LG Chem battery. So we'll have to look into that.
Yeah. Somebody asked Tesla stock in 2022 up. Not investment advice. Sean said older S and X don't have auto seat heater option. We should look in Scott's and see if he does.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't show up. And so he has to click. He can either do it two ways. He can either tap it and it'll bring up the whole heating
So if
screen.
it doesn't have auto, they should put it back.
Yeah, that's why I was complaining. I can see why people are complaining with the vertical screen. So he either has to go to the main screen that shows him all of the controls, or he can just tap the up or down arrow and it brings up a little pop-up version, which is kind of like what they had. And then you can see the buttons for making the temperature hotter or colder, or you also can turn the seat heaters on there. Yeah. But it's like before you could do it with one touch. Now you got to do it 2 or 3.
Yeah. Peter said, "What's your favorite color combo for Model Y, interior, exterior?" All of them, white on white.
Didn't you see our? We had matching jumpsuits.
Yeah, we were literally white on white.
It's like that was that's.
That's so funny. Let's see. Luke said, "Can you buy a Tesla in Texas?" Yes.
You just
paperwork has to be done out of state, though. I think.
Yeah, and up until now, they have to pay for it before they would deliver it to you. So you have to pay for it in advance. Yeah. Then they will ship it to you, and you can get it that way. But
it's stupid.
It's not as easy as in most other states.
Yeah.
But it's sad that with their headquarters now being there, that they still have to jump through hoops to actually deliver cars to Texas. Hopefully that'll change.
Yeah. Rocket tested. Where's your matching tracksuits? We should have worn those.
Oh,
Maybe next week.
For those of you who missed out, yes.
We'll get some more use out of those.
Yeah, we gotta.
Let's see. Chris said AC and heat draws most household energy. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't have air conditioning here. We use an evaporative cooler. It uses like next to zero energy, and typically if it's hot, we have really good solar, and so it's totally solar powered. But I think it uses like less than 10% of energy that an air conditioner would use. It's less than. Yeah, it's amazingly efficient. But again, it only works in certain places that have low humidity, which is like we have here in Colorado.
Yeah. Roger actually helped out and said AC and electrical stoves take up the most unless you have baseboard heat. The fans on HVAC systems usually take less than 1 kilowatt while the system is running. Electric baseboard heat takes up a ton.
Yeah.
My parents have that in their basement.
Oh.
And anytime I would really like chill down there, I would crank it up because I liked it kind of warm.
It's nice. It's kind of like a toaster.
Yeah, it was nice.
For the whole basement or whatever.
But yeah, you could definitely see it on the electricity bill. So mom and dad, if you're listening, sorry. That was probably me. It felt really great though. But yeah, it's very expensive to run it. Let's see. Oh, Patel's is white on white as well. Love it. What is our favorite Tesla supercharger station?
You've been to a lot more than me. So, I mean, you've probably been to some of those big ones out there.
I mean,
that's a good question.
I need to think about that one. Yeah. I really like the one by Edible World or whatever.
What? Is it in California?
Yeah.
Okay, because that could be something different in Colorado.
Oh, it's not pot. It's not pot.
It's like
okay.
that's not
no. It's not pot. I promise. Wow. Whew. It's like a candy store, and they have all kinds of crazy candy. They have a really great restaurant, like kind of fast food kind of thing, and their bathrooms are crazy clean.
Yeah, I haven't been to that one.
I think it's called Eddie World.
Eddie World. That's totally different. Eddie is totally different from edible. Yeah, Eddie World, I think is what it is.
Yeah, Eddie World. It's in Yermo. Okay.
Eddie, not edible.
I mean, they sell food there.
Share it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find good photos here. See, Eddie World. It's got that out in front. It looks like that. And in the place.
But it's just a giant gas station, convenience store, restaurants, and supercharger, and
where's like all the foods? Oh, there's their jerky.
Don't they have like pizza and fried chicken and all kinds of stuff?
Yeah,
there? I haven't been to that one.
These photos are awful.
Yeah,
I should add my own.
So I have not been to that one. I don't know what my favorite one is because some of them are better than others, but I haven't been to any of the huge ones. I think the biggest one I've been to was probably 16, and that was probably I think the Reno one had like 16, I think.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. I'll have to really think about that though.
Yeah.
Have I been to Kettleman? I think I have.
I think so. Yeah. With the isn't that the one with the?
I've been to a lot.
Yeah. But Kettleman, they just expanded, so they've got so many there in Kettleman.
Yeah, that just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. We'll probably go ahead and end it here. If we haven't answered your question, once this live stream ends, the video will be published. Go ahead and add it there, and we will do our best to try to answer it. Sorry, sometimes chat can get going a little fast, and we might miss a few. Thanks to everyone else in chat, though, that helped answer other people's questions. Really do appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for the super chats. As always, very appreciated, but definitely not required.
Wait, before you cut everything, Nicholas was asking about the Colorado Springs supercharger. Not the best because it's in a parking garage.
It's a parking garage.
And you have to actually pay. Sometimes you can get out without paying. But I would go like Monument. There's one just north. So if you don't need to do Colorado Springs, it's not the best one.
Yeah, definitely skip that one if you can. But that's basically it. As always, though, huge thanks to our channel sponsor, Abstract Ocean. If you haven't, check them out. I'll link down below. And using code Tesla Inventory will get you 15% off of your first purchase. The Model S and X refresh screen protectors, front and rear, are in stock. If you want the clear version and matte version to be in stock any day now, and we will have that install video and all about those drop as soon as those matte ones get in stock. And it was a ton of fun on that project too, because I actually helped a lot with the design and how everything flowed and
testing. The prototypes. Yeah.
So it took months and months, but it is finally a product that we are super happy to show you guys. and put out there because I think you guys will really like it. Took some time to perfect it because we didn't want to just push out some screen protector. We wanted to make sure it was worthy of the Abstract Ocean brand name, and want to make sure you guys really enjoy it. That was pretty much it, though. But that's basically it. We will see you guys next weekend, and we should have at least probably 2, maybe 3 videos this week. Might be a busy week, actually. So we will see you all later. Bye.